of that. And can I tell you that the first week that I would have done this, just planning for lunchtime only, it was like everybody was noticing. I don't remember how much weight I lost, but it was obvious enough to everybody else who was around me. And they were like, that's you? But I saw you last week and I never saw your look. Hi everybody, good morning. I'm literally in the middle of my morning walk and I want to thank you for joining me on my journey to, putting more hours in my glass by losing 100 pounds. So I kind of wanted to take you guys along with me as I talk about, basically 5 things I did that helped me to lose 60 pounds so far. The first thing I did was to basically drink a lot of water. I've always been a very big drinker of water, but I increased my water intake. When I increased my water intake, I realized that my appetite was more suppressed. Pardon me if I'm not looking directly at you, it's hard to focus. Also, please excuse the breeze in the background because I'm outside and it's early in the morning. So I realized that I could benefit from having a suppressed appetite, and my skin just looked a whole lot better. I felt a whole lot better. I was more energized. So the first thing I did was to increase my water intake. Increasing my water intake took me to point number 2, which means increasing my water intake meant that I basically cut out everything that you could think of that would naturally have added sugar or high sugar naturally. I was always a big drinker of water. I didn't really drink anything much outside of water and homemade fruit juice. For me, what I drank mostly was cherry juice or whatever fruit was in my yard. We would juice that. I would have mine without added sugar, but fruits naturally have fructose in them. So I cut out anything. So I don't, whenever I'm on my regimen, and I say whenever I'm on my regimen because I maintain this probably about 80% of the times. I do have times where I don't stick to this 100%. So I cut out anything with added sugar. That also includes foods. So I wouldn't have fruits outside of berries. Berries, my 2 main things were strawberries and blueberries, and where I live I don't get those things readily, so I depended on the supermarket to get those, and I got them frozen. Also that meant that all foods that included that had to go as well, and that would take me to point number 3. So point number 3 is reducing carbohydrate intake. When I reduced my carbohydrate intake, everything that had counter flour in it, your hard whole bread, your biscuits, yams, bananas, rice, everything that you can think about it that have massive amounts of carbohydrate went. So if I did that, what did I do? Now, what I did was replace those with carbohydrate substitutes, which is going to take me to my next point. I learned a lot more about nutrition facts, understanding those labels. When you see your label and you see carbohydrate, sugars, fat, protein, what does all of that mean? Fiber, what does all of that mean? Understanding those, learning more about those, nutrients helped me to figure out how it is that I can still eat, drink, and shrink, and still enjoy life, still enjoy food, still have a belly full. The secret is I can either choose to have one slice of bread. Where I'm from, the average slice of bread is 27 to 37 grams of carbohydrate per slice. We can either choose to have that, and that's one go, and that's it. Or you can figure out what types of foods have significantly lower carbohydrate levels. What sort of foods have significantly lower added sugar? What sort of foods have the moderate proteins that you need? So I follow the ketogenic principle. So when you do that now, your body goes into ketosis, which is the natural state that your body is in when you are using fat for fuel. So in order to get your body in a state of ketosis, you have to follow a principle with basically low or no carb, right? Moderate protein. And then this one, I did not necessarily do high fats, high unsaturated fats. We're talking about healthy fats here, which would come from your avocado, or as we call it here in Jamaica, pear. Ackee, our national dish, would fit that too. And there are other examples as well. So when I learned more about nutrition facts, this gave me the ability to have a good balance between the foods that I love and also incorporating the changes that I needed to make. So for me, what was recommended was that, I remember I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical personnel, so I'm just sharing with you what I did on my journey and what worked for me. You're gonna have to do your own research and figure out what will work for you. So you'll have to figure out what will work for you and act on the advice of your own doctor, right? So what was recommended for me was, for example, with the carbohydrate, was round about 30 grams, 25 to 30 grams of carbohydrate or less in a given day. What I found was almond flour, coconut flour. I discovered this on my journey. I mean, they've been around for a long time. They've always been there, and I just never knew about them. I found out about them through research. And when I first discovered this, I said to myself, whoa, where am I going to find these things? Right? And that is going to take me to my next point, where I'm going to put it all together. Meal planning was important. Meal planning. You have to plan your meals. So just like how you know that if you're a driver, whether you're a driver or not, as a person, when you're going from point A to point B, you need to figure out how you get there. If you can't walk, you have to figure out how your ride is going to go, whether you're going to take a taxi or you're going to drive. And if you're driving and you know that your tank is next to empty, or you don't have enough gas to take you to where you're going to go, are you going to be stopping by the standpipe down the road, or at the water store and say, come, fill me up with some water, I got to go? No, you're not going to do that. You're going to take your money and you're going to be putting the petrol in your car. Not only are you going to put the petrol in there, you're going to put the right type. You're not going to be putting diesel in a vehicle that requires 90 or 87 octane. No, you're not. Because you don't want to be spending money at the mechanic when you don't have to. It's the same thing for your body. You have to fuel your body the right way. And you have to let your food be your medicine and your medicine be your food. Otherwise, you're going to be spending a whole lot of money at the doctor on medicine unnecessarily. And I say that to say this. When people generally think about, eating more healthily, they're saying, oh, that's more expensive. It is not. I have proven it. Take it from somebody who sat anywhere I could find a drive-through just because it was more convenient to purchase something for lunch, to somebody who went to swapping out all that, everything that you can possibly think of that you're used to in the carbohydrate world, with basic things: my protein whey powder, my almond flour, my coconut flour. right? And you might say, oh, that's boring, but guess what? We do eat regular counter flour every day and everything anyhow. And if you're from Jamaica, you're tired of rice and peas, especially on a Sunday. Rice, peas, and chicken, and you eat chicken every day. Every restaurant, it's always chicken, chicken, chicken in some way, shape, or form on a menu. So if you can do that while helping your body to not be in the healthy state what you want it to be in, why not invest? Trust me, it basically works out to be the same thing, especially if you are the only one in your house eating like that. And can I tell you, your other family members are gonna want to join on. Trust me, they will. They might go, that don't look like it tastes right, but once they taste it, wow, they are going to have a wake-up call. Because if you really think about it, it's not that you're not eating what everybody else is eating, you know. You're just making some simple changes. For example, let's take the same rice and peas on a Sunday story. Everybody else is having rice, chicken with some sort of vegetables, right? You can have the chicken and the vegetables. You just probably need to whip up some cauliflower to go along with that to replace the rice. Because what you do find is you have certain vegetables that are very low in carbohydrate. You're talking about staying away from things like carrots that you know will have higher levels of sugar in it, fructose, right? But you want to stick to your lettuce, your cabbage, your callaloo, just naming the things I have here in Jamaica with me. People talk about spinach, broccoli, asparagus. Never had that one, and we do see them in the supermarkets here. But you can simply walk into your market in any town and pick up your vegetables. Or that same rice and peas on Sunday, I love steamed cabbage. So typically what I would do is just have a whole lot more steamed cabbage with my rice. with the chicken or whatever else everybody's having. I just have what they're having minus the carbohydrate. The main staple, which would have been the rice. So I also did a lot of research what other people were doing, and I bought myself a waffle maker because, well, you know, probably some people normally have waffle makers. I don't really, because I don't like to cook and I can't cook. My kitchen is as basic as it is. I bought myself a waffle maker because I realized you can basically whip up anything and put in it. So I used almond flour and coconut flour as the base, and learned about other ingredients like your cream cheese and all of those things, and you know, put my ingredients together and I would make waffles. The same batter can also be turned into fritters. You can whip those up with some coconut oil, which we have ready access here to, and we make it too. And you can use avocado oil, all of those things. Oh, those would have been examples of good sources of fat, unsaturated fat, and all of that. I don't want this video to be much longer, so I'm going to be doing follow-up videos on how I do that. I'm going to be showing you how I prepare my meals, examples of what I would do for lunch and all that. And can I tell you that the first week that I would have done this, just planning for lunchtime only, it was like everybody was noticing. I don't remember how much weight I lost, but it was obvious enough to everybody else who was around me. And they were like, that's you? But I saw you last week and I never saw your look, you know? And that's, for me, on this journey, has been a very rewarding thing. I've had instances where I've walked past people and they don't know it's me. They didn't recognize me until I spoke to them, because they would have recognized my voice. And it's fun, you know, it's very rewarding. There are times that you're not necessarily going to always be on track, but you're going to see that these new habits that you develop, they kind of stay with you. You're going to find yourself automatically looking at foods and you know how many calories are in that. You know how many carbs, you know how, trust me. So I'm going to do another version of this video where I focus on meal planning and exactly how it works. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have a great day. And remember, that you need to do what you need to do to put more hours in your glass, because you have only one body, you have only one life to live, and if you don't take care of it, you're gonna end up needing somebody to take care of it for you sooner than you would want to. Not that you really would want to, but some things in life are inevitable. But why not delay the inevitable and enjoy the quality of life that you got right now? See you later. See you in another video. Bye.
Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. See you in the next video.